China is firmly opposed to the manipulation of bloc politics by the countries concerned to any practice that provokes or intensifies conflicts to the detriment of the strategic security and interests of other countries and to the establishment of close and exclusive small circles in the region. Japan and the Philippines can develop normal relations with other countries, but they should not introduce confrontation between camp into the region, and they should not engage in trilateral cooperation at the expense of the interests of other countries. To see whether the U.S., Japan, Philippines summit and trilateral cooperation is targeted at China, look at the joint statement issued by the three parties. Black and white is very clear. What is this if not a willful smear against China? China expresses its own dissatisfaction with and resolute opposition to the relevant remarks of the Japanese side. I would like to stress that China will always be a builder of world peace, a contributor to global development, and a defender of international order. China has always adhered to the path of peaceful development, firmly pursues a defensive national defense policy, has never taken the initiative to start a war, and poses no threat to any country. The real challenge to regional peace and stability lies in the small circle of the United States and Japan, which are working together to stir up confrontation between two groups. First of all, I would like to say that the United States side has deviated from the basic facts in its relevant statements, maliciously attacking and accusing the Chinese side, which China is strongly dissatisfied with and resolutely opposes. I would like to stress the following points. First, China has indisputable sovereignty over the island in the South China Sea, including Renai Reef, and their adjacent waters. And China also has indisputable sovereignty over the Diao Islands and their affiliated island. China's action in the East and South China Seas are reasonable, lawful, and irreproachable in accordance with international law. Secondly, there has never been any problem with freedom of navigation and overflight in the South China Sea, but we are firmly opposed to the countries concerned acting arbitrarily in the South China Sea and showing force, as well to the countries concerned violating China's sovereignty, security, and development interests in the name of freedom of navigation and overflight. Thirdly, the so-called rolling in the South China Sea arbitration case is illegal and invalid, and China's territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests in the South China Sea are not affected by the ruling under any circumstances. Fourthly, the countries concerned have been working in collusion with extraterritorial forces for their own selfish interests, and are willing to serve as pawns of extraterritorial forces in their efforts to curb China. As history has taught us, pawns will eventually become cast away. Fifthly, the United States adheres to the Cold War mentality, threatening other countries with bilateral alliance treaties at every turn, which is a serious violation of the Charter of the United States and undermines regional stability. China's determination to continue to safeguard its territorial sovereignty and maritime rights and interests is unwavering, as is its determination to work with regional countries to maintain peace and stability in the South China Sea.